Don't be afraid. I'm back.
And I would like to invite you on yet another journey through the many faces of death.
I know. You're getting a bit sick and tired of faces of death. But I have good news. Today, we move on past death.
And we talk
about fear. Faces of Death 3. But is it? Yeah, more or less. There's a Faces of Death 4 after this, so technically this must be Faces of Death 3. Conceived as a spin-off called Faces of Fear, which didn't focus on death, but instead focused on fear. They shortened that Faces of Fear to Fear.
But what is fear?
Take note that each of these doctors are not Francis B. Gross.
Unfortunately, medical science cannot always have success.
Who is that man? That looks just like a regular fucking doctor. Where the fuck is Dr. Francis B. Gross? It's not him. Why is he here? Well, he is here because this film is conformed to the cut of Faces of Death 3 that is in actuality Fear. Dr. Francis B. Gross, played by Michael Carr, really didn't have that much time and probably didn't want to do any more of these fucking movies. They tried to replace one sinister man who is a real person with 4 separate doctors. However, they realized fairly quickly that the movie really did need Dr. Gross and they needed to recontextualize it once more. They retitled Fear to Faces of Death 3. We're presenting the original theatrical cut of Fear direct from its original 16mm AB roll. Here in the form of reversal, and here in the form of the 16mm original camera negative. However, how are we going to release Faces of Death 3 if we have the original materials for Fear? Fear is what every single piece of camera original, again, here is the reversal and here is the original camera negative, is conformed to. What our restoration team needed to do was take those doctor sections out of that film and then substitute the Michael Carr, Dr. Francis B. Gross sections right in using the digital technology of today and the video master source that we were also able to ascertain. Each piece of film is specifically labeled as one specific scene. So the longer scenes are here, the shortest scene is here. You know, you have some here, but let's see some of them. Oh, look at that, drug smuggling, exorcism, cave diving, more drug smuggling, and this one says rattlesnake. And they keep going down. Each of those little sections are separate pieces of film and are not separated in terms of what would be the most helpful and most intuitive method of actually storing this film, which would be to build it onto equally sized reels. Here is a reel of outtakes from Faces of Death 3. So what we have is a reel of outtakes that features this list. So it says source, unknown. Always good when you're sourcing footage to use unknown sources of death happening on camera. Mexican air crash, dolphin hunt in Japan, train crash, India, air crash in snow, Iran. But especially some of these, I really don't think that you should watch them. Underneath, you also see a line that says, clear before use. That meant that digging through these pieces of footage, you know, we can't use it and we can't put it on the release. Let us look at the opening titles for Fear. When looking at these things side by side, it's very easy to get confused. Which one is the original? Well, I'm so glad you asked because I am very happy to answer that question. There are multiple ways to tell which is the original reversal. It's very common if someone finds something which is positive to automatically think that this is a print, but this is not, again, this is not a print. This is an original shot, positive image, and more specifically, Ektachrome commercial. If you look really closely, you can see that ECO, which is again, Ektachrome commercial, and right next to it, you can see a triangle and a triangle. That means this film, this original camera film, was from 1981. But if we look at this print here, we can see circle, square, X. This film is from 1982. They look very similar, but they're completely different elements. And you can see, looking at them side by side, the beautiful, much more rich saturation of the print. When you have a little bit of a lower contrast between the high sections and the low sections, a little bit more muted, you can capture a large amount of differences in the shadow. Oftentimes you do not always have reversal film, and sometimes you want different looks for different shoots. So you'll have your reversal here for these beautiful eye sections, while you also have this, which is a doctor's section on original ECN, Eastman color negative. That is meant to give a very sterile, realistic look, to add credence to the fact that you are watching a documentary. Since this is 16mm A B-roll, what we're looking at is the leader, which is used as slug in a checkerboard pattern. And all we have to do is roll a little bit, and we get our original camera negative, or ECN. Unlike Faces of Death 2, which blew up to 35mm, this film did something a little bit differently. They spent less money. They decided we were going to, turn this into a positive directly from this. So this is an answer print. You can see the side has that missing soundtrack. It's just clear edges right here, very beautiful. Why did we not use this answer print here? Well, many reasons. If you look very closely, you can see that it is largely shifted. It is largely shifted to a more reddish tinge. It's because of the fact that the yellow and cyan layers have long since, disappeared. They're gone. Where are they? Get out of here. They're gone. So if we look at this original camera negative, we see the edge code square, square. That is interesting. Well, it must be in the mid-80s, right? No, it's not. That edge code means 1980. This movie, Fear, was done even before, probably, or around the same time even, as Faces of Death 2. That's fascinating. Wow, look at that. Is it even a sequel to Faces of Death 2? Who knows? Looking at a print is a very good way of determining when a film was released theatrically. We can see right here, circle, square, X. And what does circle, square, X mean? It means 1982 is when this stock was originally manufactured at the factory. This is why I think Faces of Death 3 and the other films in the Faces of Death universe, or as I like to call it, the Faceaverse, are, in my opinion, incredibly valuable even to this day. Each Faces of Death movie, they put more and more effort into putting less and less money into these poor films. And by doing so, they create a unique and fascinating artifact of the economization of a franchise. Thank you very much. And maybe I'll see you next time, if this isn't the last time we'll see each other. Who knows if we're going to put out Faces of Death 4? I don't know.
Within the world of the deranged killer, there is no right, there is no wrong, and the instinct for survival must be predicated on violence, and above all else, fear.